Around 19 years ago, the Zete War ravaged the lands of Japan. A powerful sorcerer clan named the Mikaboshi would invade the mainland. They possessed a power beyond that of an average sorcerer, tapping into the infinite power of the true realm to reshape the environment in whatever way they pleased. This was a result of a new, powerful resource. On both the islands of Shikoku and Irishima, there existed a stone. This stone, which many would call Datanseki, had a unique property. Upon making contact with spirit energy, it would massively amplify that energy. This is to the level that even a tiny piece of it could destroy a city. Obviously, with this vast amount of energy, Japan would immediately designate it as their most critical resource and attempt to harvest and use it. However, Datanseki isn't as easy to use as it looks, as even making slight contact with spirit energy. The particles of the Datanseki react with the particles of spirit energy, creating a runaway chain reaction which will cause whoever or whatever held the Datanseki to explode. But if someone did manage to harness its power, it would birth a form of power the planet had never seen. A swordsmith by the name of Kunishige Rokuhira will craft 5 enchanted blades forged from the Datanseki stone. Somehow he had figured out how to stabilize and craft it. The 5 enchanted blades that resulted from this would quickly shift the tides of the entire war, allowing Japan to stalemate the Mikaboshi. However, even with this newfound level of power, they only evened the playing field. In order to truly win, they need a weapon so powerful, so devastating, that would win them the war for good. That's when Kunishige would craft his masterpiece, a blade whose entire purpose was to end the war once and for all. Its name was the Magatsumi. The man Kunishige would pick for this task was his most trusted ally, and unfortunately, the wrong choice. The man was Akemura Soga, a calm and highly skilled swordsman who seemed like the perfect wielder. He was disciplined, responsible, and deeply committed to protecting people, which made Kunishige believe they could handle Magatsumi's power and use it to bring peace. But Akamura's idea of peace was far more extreme than Kunishige realized. He believed the world was divided very clearly into good and evil, with nothing in between. To him, evil didn't deserve mercy or negotiation. It needed to be completely destroyed. Because of this, he didn't see Magatsumi as a tool to end the war, but as a weapon that could cleanse the world for good. Akemura Soga was a prodigy who gained the title Sword Saint at the age of 18. He was considered the greatest swordsman of his time, someone who was seen as peerless even by other master swordsmen. With a single swing of his blade, he's able to ignite the very air and melt concrete. This level of skill was likely the contributing factor to why he was chosen to wield the Magatsumi. The most defining aspect of Magatsumi is also its most dangerous. The blade has the ability to absorb the life force of any living thing within an unknown range. Flowers sprout on targets of the life drain, causing them to quickly weaken. This life force is then given to Akamura, allowing him to heal his wounds, replenish his stamina, and power his attacks. There is seemingly no way to counter or tank the life drain, as even the most powerful of healing abilities are barely able to hold it back. The Magatsumi's basic function is the manipulation of forms. Forms are created by the black energy which a Magatsumi generates. The blade's energy is highly condensed spiritual energy, which occurs when an individual's life force is burned, causing the energy to turn black, increasing its overall density. Because the Magatsumi can absorb life force, it means life force can constantly be burned, resulting in all Magatsumi's attacks being powered by black spirit energy. The forms Akamura uses are said to be infinite in number, and Akamura is seemingly only limited by his imagination. Now here are the known forms Akamura has showcased. Centipede allows Akamura to generate shockwaves. Upon activating the ability, a two-dimensional centipede will appear and create a circular shape around Akamura or an object. Upon the blade making contact with a surface, such as the sheath or the ground, a powerful omnidirectional shockwave is created, which instantly pulverizes and destroys anything in the surrounding environment. The shockwave's maximum range is unknown, but a nerfed version of it reached up to 300 meters in less than a second. Dragonfly results in the blade sprouting 4 wings. The ability can fire an invisible projectile in the direction the blade is pointed. It's basically an invisible artillery. Depending on the power of the blast, it will either blow a hole through an opponent or send them flying through several city blocks. Spider creates a spiderweb pattern under the opponent. Anyone caught underneath it will be instantly immobilized and unable to move. This ability could be considered the second most dangerous, behind Life Drain, as once you're caught by Spider, there's almost nothing you can do to escape. The only way to actually escape is to somehow destroy the surface beneath the Spider. But it seems the spider web may not actually have to touch the ground in order for you to be immobilized. B creates a giant bee silhouette. It concentrates an immense amount of energy into the tip of the blade, which can be quickly released with a thrusting attack. The ability generates enough energy to create a building-sized crater which burrowed 300 meters into the ground instantaneously. Butterfly is currently the Magatsumi's trump card. Unlike a similar ability, Koro, which creates a flying slash, Butterfly cuts space itself. There's no lag between the swing of the blade and the attack, so you'll be hit less than a second after he activates it. It is said the attack appears so fast that the word instantaneous fails to capture it, meaning the attack is faster than the most common measurements of time. Another thing that makes Butterfly so dangerous is its unpredictability, as even the slightest deviations in the attack's angle can cause it to hit a completely different location depending on the distance of the opponent, meaning it's both too fast to react to and also almost impossible to aim dodge. With abilities like this, it's no wonder Akemura led the country to victory against the Mikoboshi thanks to the efforts of Kurishige Rokuhira. The world was at peace, but only for a few weeks. Shortly after the war ended, Akemura would commit the single greatest atrocity. Despite a peace treaty already being signed, he believed the people of Shikoku were evil by nature. To him, among their people, he believed there wasn't anyone that was innocent. Men, women, and even children were all future threats, and if even one of them survived, history will simply repeat itself. Believing he was protecting the nation and its citizens, Akemura activated a technique known as malediction or Kodoku. Magatsumi already had the ability to absorb life force, but malediction amplified that ability to an unimaginable scale. Vast fields of flowers spread across the island, blooming on whatever the technique reached before draining the life from everyone they touched. In a matter of moments, roughly 200,000 people were dead, erasing the island's entire remaining population. These are only a handful of abilities we've seen Magatsumi utilize, but we've seen hints of other abilities. Akemura seemingly has the ability to manipulate gravity, as he and other objects have been shown to levitate. The Magatsumi has a termite form, which is an ability that is still unused for now, but if I had to guess, it might be related to disintegration. One of the most common abilities teased by Akemura is the power to control the minds of anyone who wields the blade, as he has gone close and succeeded in taking over the minds of Magatsumi's proxy users. All this barely scratches the surface of Akemura's skill, which again is said to be peerless, allowing him to fight 5 other master swordsmen and win without breaking a sweat. With the blade's level power and the skill of Akemura, it's no wonder they won the war so quickly. However, like I said, choosing Akemura for this task may have been the biggest mistake Kurishige ever made in his life.